Happy Easter, team! How are we all doing? Hopefully you're having a fantastic Easter, and you guys got lots of Easter things. I got a really nice Easter present here from Sony. I got a whole lot of the PlayStation 3 digital store being shut down from Sony, so goddamn thank you for that. But Easter's supposed to be a happy time. We get Easter eggs. Games have Easter eggs. Aha! So I thought to celebrate Easter, why don't we take a look at some of the coolest Easter eggs in games? So I've compiled them here. Let's have a look at them. So I realized that this video, while it may do okay at Easter time, people may watch this like later in the year. So hi, I'm not wearing Easter gear. This is just a video about Easter eggs. So to be more relevant for the next 12 months, just in case YouTube decides that it wants to make me YouTube famous. There's no way that's gonna happen though unless you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Yes, I managed to sneak it in. Go and hit that subscribe button just down here. Help blow this goddamn channel up into the clouds. While you're at it, go and hit a like as well to get this thing pumping in the algorithm. It would help me out enormously. All right, let's look at the first Easter egg. Actually, before we start, obviously spoilers for some games here. I'm not gonna spoil like plot points and stuff like that, but there is going to be spoilers in this video, so just keep that in mind. It's not going to be major, but if you don't like knowing anything about games and Easter eggs, then probably don't watch this. I mean, it seems obvious. Okay, Bigfoot and Grand Theft Auto. This has been an ongoing thing in GTA and Rockstar games for ages, Bigfoot being rumored in the games, and I remember when I was just a wee little boy playing San Andreas on the PS2, the Bigfoot mystery was a thing you'd go to school and you'd talk to your friends about. And because I'm old, the internet wasn't around back then, so no one knew if it was actually real. The Bigfoot mystery finally kind of came to a head in Red Dead Redemption, where there was actually a mission where you had to hunt Bigfoot in the Undead Nightmare expansion for the game, which was super cool at the time. And then Rockstar teased it even further in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with this mission here where you have to hunt down Bigfoot. And yeah, you hunt down Bigfoot in the wilderness like this, and it all culminates with it being a man wearing a Bigfoot suit. Because why wouldn't it be, Rockstar? Why wouldn't it be? Still a cool Easter egg and a cool way of kind of like encapsulating the entire Bigfoot saga across all of their games. Now before The Witcher 3, we had The Witcher 2. Semicolon something. I can't remember what it was actually called now. It came out on the PC and the Xbox 360 and it was a phenomenal game at the time. It had a really cool Easter egg in it though, because it came out around a very similar time to Assassin's Creed, and they decided to incorporate a bit of an ode to Assassin's Creed in Witcher 2. When you're exploring one of the towns in the game, you actually come across a sort of back alley with a bunch of hay and bales in it, and then a gentleman who looks a lot like Altair, who has fallen off the roof into the bales of hay. A really, really cool reference to obviously Assassin's Creed, where you have to jump off the buildings into the bales of hay, or at least you did in the older Assassin's Creed games. And a bit of a cool nod from CD Projekt Red back in the day, kind of to one of, I guess, the other big games of the time. I know maybe not such a big deal now, but I'm old, okay? That's just chill, just settle down, alright? In 2016's Doom, there is a really cool nod back to another Bethesda property, Skyrim. In the mission Get Back to Mars while exploring one of the caves, you'll come across the Dovahkiin helmet and mask with a skeleton of a soldier. And in true Skyrim fashion, he has an arrow to the knee. So, yeah, I guess he did used to be an adventurer until he got an arrow to the knee and died and ended up in hell on Mars. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't think the universes are linked. I don't think it's canon. So back in the day when I first played Borderlands 2 for the first time, I thought this was honestly one of the coolest Easter eggs out there. Borderlands 2 has a really cool nod back to Minecraft with this cave hidden in the game, which is swagged out with Minecraft stuff. And this kind of blew my mind when I was a little teenage boy playing Borderlands 2 drinking Dr. Pepper. In the Caustic Caverns, there's a bunch of missions that you have to do here, but there is actually an offshoot cavern that you can go to here. And when you enter it, you'll find a bunch of Minecraft blocks. This is obviously just as Minecraft was starting to take off in the world. I think it was only maybe that year or maybe a year before, or a year after, sorry, Minecraft had launched. And as you progress through this cave, you get dirt blocks that you have to break, and then you get stone blocks that you have to break. And then you make your way in, and there's freaking creepers in the game. It's just such a cool little integration. I don't even know how this happened. The studios must have known each other. But there's just a bunch of Minecraft blocks here. There's a bunch of creepers lurking around, and you can kill them in Borderlands 2. I still think this is one of the coolest, like, melding of two games, because they actually have the proper Minecraft blocks and the proper creepers that explode the way they would in Minecraft. So it's It's neat. This was one of my favorite ones of all time, actually. It's nice to revisit it now and just remember those old times of being young. This one's a little bit less Easter eggy and a little bit more overt, but in God of War 2018, there is a pretty cool Avengers nod where Kratos can actually wield the Infinity Gauntlet, or a item that resembles very closely the Infinity Gauntlet, I suppose, without infringing on Marvel and Disney copyright, because, you know, no one wants to mess with that. In the game, you have to pick up a bunch of different talismans and equip them to your character, to Kratos, and he will be able to build out this Infinity Gauntlet-esque item, which, as you can see here, completely wrecks everything with one punch. It's kind of that whole snap kind of thing. Cool little nod back to Marvel here. I think it's a pretty neat little Easter egg put in here. Essentially, you build out the Infinity Gauntlet by collecting a bunch of different runes, power stones, and equipping them to your character to kind of build out each of the different Infinity Stones to create your Infinity Gauntlet. Again, it's not quite as Easter eggy, it's a little bit more of a stretch per se, but it's definitely a kind of cool addition. Sony are no stranger to Easter eggs in their games, and if we have a look at Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Part 2 from 2020, they actually have a bunch of really cool Easter eggs in their games as well. One of the coolest parts, and this has got lots of stuff in it, one of the coolest things is finding PS3s in the wild. As you can see here, Ellie has found the fat PS3 with a copy of Uncharted 2 next to it, and that's because the world of The Last of Us actually ended way back in 2008, 2009, and because of that, that's when the apocalypse took place. They never got the PS4, they never got the slim PS3, they just got the fat PS3. It's kind of cool to see that Naughty Dog stayed true to this, and then included the Jak and Daxter collection and Uncharted 2 as their kind of games that people would be playing. I suppose that's all anyone would have been playing on the PS3 anyway, because, you know, it was kind of bad back in 2008, 2009. Fight me. Another really cool Easter egg from the Naughty Dog guys is in The Last of Us Part 1. You come across this Irish pub that you can go through and scavenge some items through, and it just looks like a normal Irish pub, and you can kind of go through and explore it, and there's nothing too odd about it. Until you realize it's actually the same pub that was in Uncharted 3, at the very beginning of Uncharted 3. The game opens with Nate and Sully having this fight, or a brawl in a bar, which is actually identical to the one in The Last of Us. It's really cool that they slipped this in there, because obviously it's not canon, it doesn't make any sense, in particular because they're two different environments and everything, but the pub is identical. They've just copied the room, and I think that's neat little. It's a neat little thing. I didn't even notice this when I went through it, and I only realized it when I was making this video. So I feel kind of stupid now, because that was 10 years ago now, I think. Ghost of Tsushima had one of the coolest Easter eggs of 2020 with an ode to pretty much every Sony property, or every Sony property that was on the PlayStation 4 featured in the game. Ghost of Tsushima is a fantastic game. You haven't already checked it out, go and look it up. It's a great, great game. It essentially finishes after you finish the game and you return to Jin's table or shrine, and there's a bunch of origami figures that are linked back to other games. As you can see here, you got a race car from Gran Turismo, you have the Ratchet head from, obviously, Ratchet, you have a bike from Days Gone, you have the robot dinosaur from Horizon, a Colossus, you've got a guitar, I think, from The Last of Us, and then you have the head from Kojima Productions in there as well. Very, very cool little Easter egg here from Sucker Punch, incorporating a bunch of their other first party and second party Sony brethren and properties into this game. I thought this one was hilarious when I actually was looking these up to try and find them. In Just Cause 3, there is an Easter egg that references back to Arrested Development. You guys might remember Arrested Development was a sitcom or a comedy show that was around a number of years ago, and they have a reference to the banana stand, which is an ongoing gag in Arrested Development. I think it's really funny that they incorporated this in here. As you can see here, they have Bolo's original banana stand and it's exactly the same banana stand that's featured in Arrested Development. Never forget, there's always money in the banana stand. Pretty cool little pop culture reference. Obviously the developers enjoyed that show and they wanted to kind of nod back to it. Doesn't really fit in here, it doesn't make much sense here in place. And you can blow it up if you want to do that as well, and it will rain money, because there's always money in the banana stand. Death Stranding had so many Easter eggs and nods to actors, celebrities, cameos, things like that in it. But one of the things I think was the coolest was featuring some of the tall necks from Horizon Zero Dawn in the game. You can see them in hologram form as you're progressing through the environment, and it's because of obviously the partnership between Kojima Productions and Guerrilla Games, both using the Decima engine, or an enhanced version of the Decima engine, to build Death Stranding, and it's neat. Death Stranding has a bunch of weird stuff in it that Kojima included, but I think this is the coolest one. I think this one definitely takes the cake. But do you guys have any favorite Easter eggs in video games? Maybe I missed your absolute favorite Easter egg of all time. I'd be really curious to hear it down in the comment section down below. I'm sure there is hundreds of them out there. And if you guys enjoyed this, maybe we'll make a part 2 with some more Easter eggs from other games. If you did enjoy it, leave a like. If you're a new viewer and you've just discovered me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Help me out. It's completely free. And I'll see all you gamers in the next one.